Hey everybody, welcome to another chapter of the Book of Sean. Thank you for tuning in. It's good to see you people. I missed you yesterday. I thought about you and everything. I got a great show for you. My dear sister Alexia is here. You know, love, 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 love. Love ain't easy, people. You know what I'm saying, do you? Love will drive you to drinking twice. And my dear sister has a journey with respect to love and what it has meant to her and done to her and empowered her. I bet there's wisdom in her she doesn't even know she has. I'm going to try to pull it out, and I want to encourage her to do whatever it is she really wants to do next, whether that's be single or find someone. I can't wait to talk to her. You're going to be inspired by her, and you're going to really learn from her, and I think she's going to learn some things from all of us tonight, too. We're going to learn together, people. That's what we do here on the Book of Sean. We're going to do some Ask Dr. Sean later, and then we're going to do some headlines. Let's do some headlines right now. So you guys heard that the Supreme Court, either in this term or the next term, will take up affirmative action again. And so I just wanted to say, prepare yourselves to be disappointed. Because, you know, the Supreme Court is a 6-3 conservative majority now. And the court will take up whether or not it is legitimate for universities and colleges to admit students based upon race, whether that's a legitimate basis for admission. And I really don't understand why this isn't a settled issue, because the court's already ruled on this at least twice, but here we go again. And I think it's important, before we even go down the whole, rabbit hole about the Supreme Court, I think it's important to remember why we have affirmative action to begin with, right? Before we start getting rid of it, let's talk about why we have it. We have it because first of all, it was illegal for black and brown people, especially black people, to learn how to read and write in this country. It was illegal for us to be educated. And then universities and colleges, predominantly white ones particularly, made it their business to make sure that they were mostly Anglo, and they wouldn't admit us. We have affirmative action not because black people needed white institutions to admit us because we weren't whole without them. We have affirmative action because white institutions practiced evil. Racism is evil. Discrimination is evil. And so we have affirmative action for that reason. I think we ought to remember that. You know what I'm saying? I just find it interesting that we're even debating on whether or not race should be the basis of letting someone into a college or university, because if you really think about it, your race and your ethnicity should be more credited towards your admissions than should be your grades. I know you didn't see that coming. I know you didn't see that coming. Your test scores and your grades are indication of past performance. But we let you into college based upon your potential. You see the difference? When you got an A in history in the 9th grade, or you got an A in algebra as a junior in high school, that tells me what you did. We let you into college based upon your potential. College admissions is based upon potential, potential performance. Your grades have nothing to do with that. Getting an A in the 8th grade does not tell me anything about your potential, just tells me about your past. But where you come from, the tradition you were born in, the principles you manifest, the people who produce you, that does tell me something about your potential, which is why I say that race and ethnicity and gender should play a part in how it is we understand and deduct your potential. Because identity and destiny have something to do with each other. Did you get that? Because that was good. Now, here it is. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, black and brown kids that are admitted to colleges and universities because of affirmative action are not dumb kids. They are brilliant. And if America was not a racist country, they would have been admitted to those schools anyway. Last thing I want to say about this is the only black guy on the Supreme Court, the only black person on the Supreme Court right now, happens to not support affirmative action. Clarence Thomas, who only got into Holy Cross because of affirmative action and only got into Yale because of affirmative action, doesn't support the policy that got him in. There's a word for that. If you're looking for it, it's called hypocrisy. And here's the wisdom. Watch the people in your life who, when they get to a certain status and level, want to pull up the ladder so that nobody else can get to where they are. There's a word for that too. Well, there's a phrase for that involves two words, one of them uncle, but I can't say that right now. But I'll just give you the one word, selfish. Let's move on, Steve-O. So you guys heard about Laura Spears? Laura Spears is this brilliant sister in Michigan who checked her junk mail and found out she had $3 million sitting in her junk mail email. Oh my God, she apparently matched 5 numbers when she played the lottery, and then she got this special number that multiplied her prize by 3. So she got 5 numbers and she got $1 million, and then there was this special number that multiplied your prize by 3. She ended up with $1 million. And she had $3 million sitting in her junk mail email folder. Can I just say this real quick? Alexia, I am never emptying my junk mail again. My junk mail will stay full. Listen, people, can you imagine checking your email and having $3 million sitting in the email? Huh? That is the great prayer of my life. Come on, let's pray together. You all ready? Grab hands. Dear little baby Jesus, dear little sweet Jesus, Lord, please let me find $3 billion in my email, Lord. Y'all ain't praying. I'm serious. This is a real prayer, people. Oh, my God. I'm so happy for her, man. I'm happy when people find amazing things happening. I like when people are happy. And, I don't know Laura Spears. I never met the woman, especially now. I probably never will now that she's a millionaire. But I just want good things to happen to people. Part of the reason why I do this show is I like to remind people that good things can still happen for you in spite of what you've been through. In spite of what's happened to you, what you've endured, what you've had to overcome, good things can still happen for you. Don't give up on the probabilities and the possibility of a miracle just breaking out in your life. I know some of y'all don't believe in miracles because you don't believe in nothing bigger than yourself. I'm sorry, I ain't one of you. I've depended on a few miracles to get me out of trouble. And all I'm really trying to say is this. Good things are still being born. Yeah. You know how I know? Because Laura Spears found $3 million sitting in her junk mail. You could be right on the edge of the greatest moment you ever had in your life and not even know it. You could be right on the edge of everything you've always wanted. It could happen for you tomorrow, and you sitting in the middle of today not realizing that tomorrow everything about your life is about to be different. Because you never know. You never know what's about to happen, and that's why I do this show, to remind you that you owe it to yourself to keep going. Don't you dare give up. After all you've been through, all you fought through, all you survived, all the people that tried to hurt you, kill you, destroy you, you overcame all of that just to give up now? No. You have to keep going. You have to keep looking for impossible scenarios to work themselves out for you. I'm a firm believer that nobody can curse what God has already blessed. And in case you didn't know it, you are blessed. You woke up this morning, blood's running warm in your veins, use of your ligaments and limbs, use of your mind. You're blessed. Got a roof over your head, food on your plate, water in your cup. You're blessed. You're blessed. Let that happen. And if you don't believe it, I got some evidence. You ready? Laura Spears found $3 million sitting in her email. Let's move on, Steve-O. So this story, this story is important for those of us who are just a little older. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, confirmed that she's running for re-election after some speculation that she might not. So the Speaker, Pelosi, is 80 years. She's in her 80s, by the way. And, that's what 80 looks like. She looked good for, somebody in the 80s. In fact, Maxine Waters, we don't have a picture, but Maxine Waters is also in her 80s, and Maxine Waters looks amazing too. You know what I'm saying? Look, if that's what 80 looks like, I'm just saying. When it's all said and done, people made an issue of her age about why she should run or shouldn't run, and Nancy Pelosi let people know, I'm running. And I came on tonight to tell you, don't let people try to tell you that you're too old, too young, too black, too white, too male, too female, too straight, too gay, too rich, too poor, to do what you want to do. Don't let people put you in their little box because they don't believe that somebody your age or your whatever can do this anymore. If you believe it and it's what you want to do, then guess what? You go out there and do it. And you let the results speak for you. You let your greatness be your vindication. You see, being young or being old is not an asset or a liability. It just is what it is. Whatever age you are, you are. You cannot control when you were born. You know what I'm saying? You're not great because you're young, and you're not insignificant because you're old. You just are what you are. There's a reason why the Greek god opportunity is always pictured as a baby. You know why? Because opportunity never gets old. It doesn't matter how old you are, as long as your opportunity comes into your life. And what I like to tell people all the time, as I'm going to tell Alexia later, you can't miss what's waiting on you. You cannot miss what's waiting on you. That's why you ain't got to rush, and you ain't got to worry, and you ain't got to panic. I don't care how old you are. Your age is not an asset or a barrier. It just is what it is, and you can't control your age. So you might as well just lean into it and just be who you are. You know what I'm saying? Whatever age you are, go on and be it. And quite frankly, as crazy as the world is, if you live to be 80, somebody should give you a standing ovation. You know I'm right. You just ain't saying nothing. As crazy as the world is, if you live to be in your 70s or 90s or something, somebody should give you a standing ovation. And in fact, if nobody else did it, let me give it to you. You are an achievement. If you are 20, if you are 30, you 40, you in your 50s, 70s, 90s, you are an achievement. The fact that you've been out here 20 years and nobody has driven you crazy or taken your life or reduced your dignity or robbed you of your joy or eliminated the best of you from the rest of you, you deserve a standing ovation. Yes, you do, because you are the gift and the miracle and the blessing. You're the sun, the moon, and the stars. You're the dawn and the dusk. You're the dance. You're the poet and the poem. You're the singer and the song. I can keep going because I'm good at this. I'm just trying to tell you, you're special. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi's going to run and she's 80 years old. So what? And whatever it is you're trying to do at the age you're trying to do it, tell people to mind their damn business while you do what you were born to do. I got one more, Steve-O. Then I'm going to bring out Alexia. So you guys heard about this crazy pastor? I couldn't wait to do this. There's this crazy pastor named, and I said crazy pastor, you'll see why. Pastor Curtis Bankson and his wife Sophia have been charged with imprisonment for literally keeping 8 people locked in their basement. These two right here, they locked 8 disabled people in the basement of their home, and they've been charged with operating an unlicensed group home. That's the home, and they kept people literally disabled, 8 disabled people they kept locked and held hostage in their home. And they're the pastors of a church called One Step of Faith Second Chance Church. Okay, just for the record, if your church name, if the name of your church is that long, you probably belong to a cult where they lock people in the basement. If the name of your church is One Step of Faith Second Chance, that's a long name for a church. If you got a long name on your church, you might want to just check the basement. I love a good church crazy story, because you guys know I love a good church crazy story, but this is crazy. What would you do if you went to church and found out that your pastor had locked 8 people and held them hostage in the basement? Would you come back next Sunday? Would you give your tithes and offerings? I'm just asking. But before you say no, I would never come back to a church who did that. A lot of y'all are being held hostage and you don't even know it. Uh-oh, you didn't see that coming either. You didn't see that coming, did you? A lot of y'all being held hostage in church, you know why? Because your pastor tells you what music to listen to, and the pastor tells you what movie you can watch, and the pastor tells you what you can wear, and the pastor, aren't you grown? Don't you have a moral compass? Don't you have your own relationship with God? Don't the same God that speak to him speak to you? Ain't the same Bible that he read the one that you can read too? Why do you need another grown man, another grown woman telling you how you should direct what's going on in your house? We all had a little opinion about the pastor that locked people in the basement to hold them hostage. And a lot of us are going to churches where the preacher's holding us hostage. People in church don't think for themselves. Too often, people in church, we cut our minds off when we go to church. I don't understand. And I'm a church guy, so don't be looking at me funny like I'm anti-church. Y'all know I ain't anti-church. I'm just anti-stupidity no matter where it is, including church. We cut our minds off when we go to church. You know how I know? Here's what we say, and I'm going to take this break. Here's what we say. We say, don't let the Lord catch you with your work undone. First of all, what kind of God has to sneak up and catch me? That doesn't make sense. If God is all-knowing and always present, God ain't sneaking up to catch nothing. Whatever I'm not doing is no surprise to God. God already knows. But we cut our minds off and we say stuff like, don't let the Lord catch you with your work undone. God ain't got to sneak. He already know I ain't doing it. And he knows my heart. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with my dear sister, Alexia. We're going to talk about love tonight, people. You know I love talking about love. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. So, if I asked you about your journey with love, what would the story be? Because we all got a story, right? Even if you're not with anybody or have never been with anybody, never had a relationship, that's still a story. We all got a story. And my guest tonight is no different. She has a journey. And I am going to honor her journey with the sacredness of my attention and the best that I have in me. I offer it to her tonight because love is no easy thing. Welcome to the show tonight, Alexia Adams. Alexia, am I saying your name right, Alexia?
Yes, sir, you are. Yes. How you doing?
Yes. I'm doing good. I mess up names so much that when I get them right, I just want to do a happy dance, all in my spirit. Listen, thank you for coming on. You are absolutely beautiful, by the way. Love your smile. I love your presence. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
It is my absolute pleasure. Before we get into your journey, before we get into what you have overcome and been through, all of that, I like to ask questions so to get to know your heart, your soul. So these questions have nothing to do with what we're going to talk about for most of the time, all right? Here's my first one. What's the most interesting thing you've ever done?
Travel the world, playing professional basketball overseas, and I'm 5'4", so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, let me bow down to you. I bow down. 5'4", you were a professional basketball player?
Yes, sir. I played overseas 6 years in 5 different countries.
See, this is why I do this show, right? Moments like this. I did not expect you to say that. Wow. Okay. I'm talking to a real one. So here's my next one. What do you wish you had done more of?
Honestly, I think that when I was in college, if I knew what I knew now, I would have probably picked a different degree. I majored in business management. I think I probably would have went to school to be a lawyer.
Yeah. You know, I can relate to that. I've often wondered why I didn't get a law degree. I kind of wish I had gotten a law degree. So I can relate to that. So here's my last one in this little crazy section that I do. What's the best thing you've ever done for yourself?
Honestly, going to college. I'm the first person in my family to graduate. So going to college right now, being able to provide, that's the best thing you can do.
Love it. I agree with that. It is no accident, Alexia, that right after slavery, 7 to 9 million black folks did one thing together. We struggled together to learn how to read and educate ourselves. It's no accident that the first thing we did after slavery was build colleges, universities, and schools. I'm just saying. All right. So let's get into the meat of the matter, right? I want you to know this. I want you to know, because you don't know me. We've never met. I'm a very kind person, right? I'm a very clear person. And I honor your heart. I honor what it is you're about to give me. So I say that to say to you, you're in good hands, all right? You're in good hands. You don't have to sort of protect yourself from the experience. I'm going to make sure that you are protected and safe in this moment, okay? So just know that. Okay. I said that because my first question is kind of going to go there. And that is, I heard, if I got it right, that you are learning to live with a breakup.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. Talk to me about that, because I think a lot of people are right where you are.
Basically, I was on this reality show called Put a Ring on It. Before that, even whatever, I dealt with my partner at the time for 14 years on and off, more off than on. And long story short, we were on the show. He slept with one of his daters. She blurted it out, and I left him.
Wow. Okay. That's the story. And so, what are you living with, right? Because that's the story, but what are the effects of the story on you? What are you living with as you go through that?
Honestly, just trusting people. because he knew me probably the best out of a lot of people. Just not getting so close to people, just kind of being more guarded with my heart.
So what I hear you saying is that that experience, the on and off experience and the ultimate infidelity, has diminished your capacity for trust.
Correct.
How do you feel about when you like step out of yourself for a second, just look at yourself. How do you feel looking at yourself, hearing yourself say that I don't trust the way I used to?
It's weird, to be honest, because obviously, everyone has some type of best friend or someone they know for a long time who they tell all their business to. But a few of us have dealt with those people. But I think the fact that literally I put all 110% trust into him it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you say what you just said, sort of sparked a question in me. And just receive it in good intentions. What do you think you did? I know he was the one that did the infidelity, but what do you think you could have done differently?
Nothing, because clearly he'd been doing it. I'm sure that even though it was on television, that was just him getting caught on national television. But you do it once, I mean, cheater always a cheater. That's how I look at it.
So there were no signs?
If they were, I probably just ignored them. I personally never saw anything. I'll take that back. One time there was a girl that contacted me on social media, and I didn't even say anything to the girl. I went straight to him, and he said that was somebody I was dealing with when we were separated. I was like, oh, okay. So I just left it alone. Got
it. And so I believe that all of this has not only affected you, but I think it's also taught you something. Because I'm a firm believer that you probably have a wisdom that most people will never have. So I don't just want the pain tonight. I also want some of the wisdom. Tell me what this whole experience taught you about love, and then tell me what it taught you about you.
I'm probably one of the few people that I know that puts everybody else first before myself. After this situation happened, the way I move now, I put myself first every time. Unless you're my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. But other than that, just put myself first, being more focused on what I want to do in life and kind of putting everything else in the back burner. It sounds my friend said, it sounds like you're just hurt. I said, no, I'm woke. I'm woke now.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I was just about to say to you, Alexia, if it didn't teach you nothing else about yourself, it should have taught you, not only are you strong enough to be betrayed and still keep going, because that's a throw your shoe right there, right? But it also had to have taught you to be more aware, right? To be awake, to look at people and to see who's in front of you and not the person you have in your head.
Yes, sir, it did.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Listen, the pain is what it is. But that wisdom will bless you for a lifetime, because later on we're going to talk about what's next for you. But tell me this, after you've gone through this, because I want people to sort of really connect with your heart and not just with your narrative. What's been the hardest part? Like, what's the hardest part, as you sit here now?
Dating. Everybody got an angle. I feel like some people want to talk to me because I was on the show. I feel like some people want to talk to me because they know, like, what I have because I was on the show. Just dating, period, in general.
And so you need help with what? Let's name it.
Probably filtering out the BS, because I would say more I'm conscious now as far as what I want from a person. I would say, I can honestly say I probably lowered my standards a lot and went straight with all heart with nothing else. And now I look at it as you got to be not only attractive, but have your things in order. And at the same time, what can you bring to this table?
You said you were in this relationship on and off for 14 years. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir. More often than on.
more often than 14 years. I like to tell people all the time, Alexia, that you don't know you're dealing with a wolf until he gets hungry. Because very often They don't show their fangs and their teeth until they need something to eat. And the point I'm making is this, that you have come through an experience that has really taught you how people can amalgamate, contort themselves, shape shift, right? Be deceitful, not be clear and honest, right? So as you think about what it is you're wanting from someone at this stage of your life, what's the list? Because I got something for you. What's the list?
For one, stability.
Mm-hmm.
For two, this just being more transparent. I would say I put love a little bit back more because I want everything else first. But really, as long as you can be transparent with me, honest, open, and communication, that's my big thing, regardless if it's, even a friend. If you can communicate with me, we got something. I read something the other day I had posted on Instagram. It says, you can tell someone something all day and say you communicated it, but the thing is they have to comprehend it. I can keep telling you all the time, like, hey, I need you to do this, and you're hearing me, but you're not comprehending what I'm saying. So
I love that. I love that. So let's do this, because I think when it's all said and done, I love that. I can say something to you all the time, but if you can't hear it or comprehend it, then what is the purpose of me saying it? I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. I know for sure, listening to you, I know for sure that one of the things I'm going to add to your list, that I'm going to add to who you are, is someone who has the ability to not be selfish. Okay? Let's not talk about whoever did whatever they did to you. Let's talk about generic person A. At the core of infidelity and cheating is a kind of selfishness, right? Because it's a selfish act. It's a selfish act. It's selfish, number one, because I thought we had an agreement and understanding. But number two, it's selfish in the sense that if we didn't have that, you should have said something. You should have been courageous enough to say, you know what? I need to change the agreement. In either case, it's selfish. So what I would add, I want you to respond to this. What I would add to your list is someone who understands empathy. Someone who understands empathy. What do you think about that?
You correct. That hit it on the head, because don't do something to somebody that you wouldn't want done to you. Period.
That's right. So. That's right. That's right. Listen, I'm gonna take a break. When we come back, I want to turn the page. I want to face the future, okay? Because we got to get you ready for what's next. The hell with the past. It's over. It's done, right? It hurt. It was real. But the yesterday ain't the last word about you. When we come back after this break, we're going to turn to the future. Why don't you turn with us when we come right back? Thank you for not telling me that we were on. Welcome back, everybody. All right, listen. So, Alexia, there's a lot going on during the break, you know? I gotta take a deep breath. Let's turn and face the future, right? Let's face the future. What's your 3 to 5 year plan for yourself?
Just being honest, I feel like I've done majority of everything I've ever wanted to do in life, with the exception of kids. I'm not sure if I still want kids now, but 3 to 5 years, looking to have 2 or 3 properties, travel the world more, retire my parents. That's my end goal.
So what I didn't hear you say is, well, I can postulate that when you say kids, you also mean
having kids, maybe 1 or 2. Like, I'm already 35.
No,
I'm not trying to be 42 having kids.
No, I got that part. I'm intimating you mean have them and be in a relationship with you know what I'm saying? Marriage or just kids? You just want kids without marriage, or?
Well, I want obviously a family.
Okay.
But I think for me in the past, I always said that if I don't have kids by 35, I don't want kids. I mean, that can go either way, but I want a family. I just want to be able to come home to a genuine situation, have a great time of my life, travel with my family.
Nice.
That's the,
No, no, no. I'm glad you clarified that, right? Because different people want different things, right? I know people who want kids, but they don't want the whole family thing. I know people that want kids, but they don't want all the other. They just give me kids and I'm fine. So I just want to make sure that I was understanding what you were saying. That's why I just asked for greater clarity. All right. So do you think you're ready for a relationship?
yeah, I most certainly think I am. I think that now I have more tools to just being. I mean, I feel like I'm a great partner, but I have more tools to just being more vocal. If I'm not happy with something, speaking up more. Typically, I would sweep it under the rug.
Mm.
The ultimate goal is to have a LeBron so he can go to the league. That's the ultimate goal.
No, I was just about to ask you, was that one of the mistakes you think you made? Was that you didn't say more, you didn't speak up more, you didn't say more for yourself?
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I think everything happens for a reason and for a season. I feel like when that situation ended, a lot of great things started happening for me. I felt like a lot of great people started coming into my life, period. So I think at this point, I can say just because of where I'm at now, I wouldn't change anything.
Oh yeah, no, listen, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, no. Let's affirm everything that you just said as clarion wisdom, right?
Right.
The reason I asked the question I asked was not as a critique, but to simply say a part of overcoming what we have been through is to do an assessment of what we allowed ourselves to do, right, to help get there. And
Right.
and that's exactly what you did. You see, what I'm doing with you tonight is that there are so many people who are living with a breakup, living with disappointment, living with whatever they've gone through. And what you're giving us tonight is wisdom from the inside of it, right? You're telling us not what you've read in a book. You're telling us what you've lived and observed from yourself. And a lot of people tonight, and respond to this when I'm done, a lot of people tonight need to know that when you're in a situation, whether that's a job or relationship or anything else, speak up.
100%. So ever since that show, I get thousands of messages in my inbox telling me how I helped them with their situation, regardless if it was leaving, staying, or just speaking up. I would say if anybody's out there that's hearing me talk, I'm so indecisive with my emotions sometimes that I would say be more direct, speak up, because at the end of the day, a closed mouth don't get fed. And then sometimes you're gonna hear things you don't want to hear or even want to know, but now you have that choice to make a decision instead of just thinking and dwelling on it, because that negative energy is weighing on you. Regardless of whether you know it or not, the way you go about your day, it depends on what's going on at home, honestly.
Yes, I love all of that. You hear me? I love all of that, because when it's all said and done, those are the things we need to say to ourselves that empower us to do better. Before I let you go, I want to help you with trust, okay? Because out of everything that you said tonight, the thing that sort of sticks out to me is your sense of diminished trust. And here's what I want you to know. I want you to, and some of this you already know, some of this you may not. Number one, I want you to know that what happened to you was not your fault, and you know that, right? So
right.
This isn't about you losing it, or it should not be about you losing trust or the ability to trust, or even that you trusted the wrong particular person or the wrong setting. Has nothing to do with that, okay? When we are violated, when we are offended, when we are whatever, it's not because we did something wrong. It's because we encountered someone, a scenario, a situation that was not worthy of what we gave them. You with me? I'm about to clap and throw my shoe, I'm telling you. Because it's not that the giving of it is bad. It's not that the best of us trying to give that to someone is the wrong thing to do. It's just that we gave it to someone or something who did not deserve it.
Correct.
But here's the rub. When we meet the one who does deserve it, what we can't do is let the one who didn't deserve it ruin the connection we're going to have with the one who does. And what happens with too many people is that we run into somebody who did whatever it is that they did, we diminish our sense of trust, and then the right one shows up, and we can't love them effectively or connect effectively or trust effectively because we have allowed somebody who didn't deserve it to ruin it for somebody who does. And here's where I wanted to get to. I'm working my way there, Alexia. I'm working my way there. Here's what I wanted to get to. You are a brilliant, you are a beautiful, you are a competent, you are a gifted, talented, and I don't know your spiritual life, but I would even say an anointed woman. And what I'm going to say to you is trust yourself. Trust yourself that if you give your trust to somebody and they violate it, you are strong enough to trust yourself again. Trust yourself to know that what you give to someone is a reflection of who you are. You give it because that's what you have to give. And what they do with it, that's on them. You follow what I'm saying? But for you to withhold your best because you're scared to get hurt only ultimately hurts you. I know it's a process. I know it's day by day. But I want to encourage you, implore for you, because I just believe you're going to get what you want. Talk to me, Alexa. You're going to get what you want. The family you want. You're going to get the junior LeBron you want. You're going to get what you want. I just want you to be fully present and fully able to enjoy it when you get there. How does that strike your spirit?
I'm going to enjoy it. I want you to know that the first thing that I've ever been in love with was basketball. It taught me how to love. Because when I put 110%, I'm always the first one in and the last one to leave. You know, it obviously changed my life, took me around the world, was able to be a provider because of that. So if someone can come as close to the game that never disappointed me, you know, I'll be the happiest person in the world.
Listen, I got to take this break, but I got to give you one more thing. What I'm saying to you is not that you should trust somebody else. I'm saying to you, trust yourself enough to know.
Right.
That if you trust someone, and no matter what they do with it, you are strong enough to survive anything that happens. That's what I'm saying to you. So it's not about whether or not whatever they do. But you know yourself and believe in yourself so much that you are not going to let anybody diminish you or change you or reduce your capacity to love someone the way you love basketball. That's all I'm saying.
I got you.
Okay, good. Listen, I got to let you go. I enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, listen, I expect big things from you. And when you become a multi-billionaire, feel free to send me an email with $3 million, like the lady I talked about in the beginning of the show.
I'm going to definitely send you that along with my detox juice that you're going to get. I have a detox juice that's out right now. It's Alexia's Drink to Shrink, doing very well. You can order it online at Alexia's Drink to Shrink on Instagram.
I love it. Send it to me because I'm going to drink it, people. Okay? Alexia Adams, everybody. Listen, I'm going to come back with some Ask Dr. Sean right after this. Welcome back, everybody. So, I like Alexia, man. She represents so many people. Been through a lot, you know, and things happen, and it diminishes your sense of self. And what I wanted to always try to say to people is the great struggle is to not let people change you. Is to not let hurt, pain, heartbreak change you. I know it's easier said than done. I know that. You don't have to say that. I know it's easier said than done. But some things have to be done even though they're not easy. And I think we owe it to ourselves to find the level that we want to live at, no matter what we've had to go through to struggle to get there. So I wish her well. I'm praying for her. I'm praying for all of you too. You know, I know a lot of us are just not able to love the way we want because of what we've been through. But come on, fight through it. Don't let it change you. Let's do some Ask Dr. Sean. So you guys always send me great videos, and today is no different. So let's take a look at this one.
Hi, Dr. Sean. My name is Rana Riff, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I wanted to ask you today about survivor's guilt. At the time when I was 12 years old, I underwent a bone marrow transplant for my sister, who was 18, who had leukemia. However, after the procedure, she did not survive, and just due to complications after that. However, after she passed away, I did feel a lot of guilt and remorse, and I felt like it was my fault. And I just wanted to know, how do people cope with that guilt, that survivor's guilt. Is there any advice that you can give myself and others facing similar situations? Thank you.
No, thank you for the question. I think the most responsible answer I can give you, at least in the beginning, is to put yourself in a therapeutic process, is to make sure right away that you're talking to a therapist, a counselor, a psychologist, someone who can help you work through it. Because it's not a quick, easy sort of thing. It's not, give me 3 things I can do and I'm over it. Give me a little drop of wisdom and I'm done. Because always mixed with survivor's guilt is often a sense, and especially in your case, it's a sense of grief, right? And so those things are sort of commingling and mixing together. And that is a deep dive that you should take with someone who can guide you through it and to make sure that you get to the other side. But, I will say this to you. I will say that the fact that you asked this question and the fact that you're reconciling yourself to this feeling, to this moment, tells me that you're probably closer to healing than you think you are. You may only need to take 1 or 2 more steps to get there. And that is just to align yourself with a professional who can really work with you and stand with you as you process. And maybe more than one. Maybe you have a person in your life who does the heavy lifting psychologically with you, a psychologist. But you also may need to have someone in your life who does the spiritual work, who just encourages you, who encourages you to believe. I'm going to do that part, all right? I'm going to let the psychologist do the other part. I'm going to do the spiritual work. Here it is. Part of the struggle of life is to believe that we're here for a reason and for a purpose. And whatever allows us to remain because something about us isn't quite finished. The work is not quite done. And I want you to understand that when someone has almost literally given their lives for you to live, you owe it to them and you owe it to you to make sure that the life that you are living is extraordinary. You are going to honor what you have lost and who you have lost with the content of the best of your days. Allow your life to be your living witness and testimony that the sacrifice that allows you to be here was worth the trouble of what your beloved had to go through to give it to you. You are special. And I know it because literally somebody had to pass away in order for you to continue to be who and what you are. Now gather that in your arms. Gather that in your soul. Gather that in your heart. And let it give you value. Let it give you significance. Let it remind you that there's something about you that life found indispensable. I wish you well. Let me do this one real quick. Someone emailed me this. February is almost here, and I have already failed at keeping my New Year's resolutions. That's why I don't make any. Anyway, how can I become disciplined so that I can accomplish my goals for the rest of the year? Listen, by remembering this, the pain of discipline is always better than the pain of consequences. Did you get that? Let's try it again. The pain of discipline is always better than the pain of consequences. And here's what that means. If you don't do what it is you're trying to do, there will be negative consequences that come along with that. And the pain from those consequences will be far more devastating than the pain it's going to take you to buckle up, to settle down, and to be focused and disciplined on what you want, right? The pain of gaining 100 pounds is far worse than the pain of being disciplined and not eating pizza. I'm preaching to myself. The point I'm making is this. Be committed to your goals. Have a new relationship with what you're trying to do. Reinvigorate why you're trying to do it. And then take it one day at a time, one brick at a time, one moment at a time. Don't try to do the whole thing at once. All right? I hope that's helpful. We'll be right back with more Ask Dr. Sean right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Let's do some more Ask Dr. Sean. Let's take a look at the video.
Hi, Dr. Sean. My name is Adaris. I'm from Philly, and I need some of your advice. I have a friend who just bought a new car, and she's staying with me until she's able to save up enough money to move. Am I being taken advantage of, or do she just not have her priorities in order?
Okay, did I get that right? Well, play that again.
Hi, Dr. Sean. My name is Adaris. I'm from Philly, and I need some of your advice. I have a friend who just bought a new car and she's staying with me until she's able to save up enough money to move. Am I being taken advantage of, or do she just not have her priorities in order?
Oh, that's why I wanted to play it again, because I didn't catch the new car part. All right, so if I think I got it. So your friend just bought a brand new car, and yet they're staying with you to save up money to get a place. So they bought a car, brand new car, rather than get their own apartment. Got it. Okay. Are you being taken advantage of, or do they not have their priorities together? I think the answer to that could be yes to both. And that's part of the conundrum with this question. Because clearly if you get a car before you get a place, that you probably should have a place to live, your old place to live, and you can sort of mitigate and get around. That, in most instances, should not be the priority. The priority should be having a roof over your head. And are you being taken advantage of? To some degree, yes, because the person obviously feels like you are the option that they can lean on and trust in lieu of being able and being willing to do the more responsible thing, which is to get their own place. But I think there's a more interesting question you probably should have asked me. And that question is, Dr. Sean, what do I do about it? What do I do about the fact that I have someone living with me who just bought a new car, and they're probably taking advantage of me, and their priorities are not in the right place? So more than answering the question that you asked me, let me give you a better answer to the question that you didn't. You need to have a real sober conversation with this person. And you need to set some boundaries and some agreements and understanding. Are they taking advantage of you? Probably yes. Are you in the situation where you're being taken? Yes, you are. But now that you're here, now's the time to help dig yourself out of it. And the way you do that is by saying, okay, love your new car. I think it's wonderful. But guess what? You got X amount of weeks, you got X amount of months or X amount of days that you can stay here. Okay? And so if you don't redraw the boundaries and adjust the agreement, you are going to only multiply multiply the fact that you're being taken advantage of and reinforce their misplaced priorities. Okay? They have obviously shown that they don't have the ability, they're not morally capable, or they're not whatever empowered enough to sort of do the right thing in this situation. Or they may be doing the best that they can. They may be doing all they know how to do. Maybe this is all they know how to do. Let's not even be pejorative. The fact of the matter is, it's not what suits you. You know better, and so you have a responsibility to make sure that you're not being abused and that they are also learning. And the only way to do that is to draw some boundaries, have some new agreements. This is what we're going to do. This is how long we're going to do it. And when we get to this date, this is what you're going to do. And it probably means they're going to move out. Okay? I know that's your friend, but if you don't set boundaries with your friends, they'll be your enemies before it's all over. That was good. All right, let's do the last one here. I committed to being the maid of honor at my friend's wedding this summer, but after I committed, she told me that the wedding is in Greece and the bachelorette party will be in Belize. I love my friend, but I can't afford to be in her wedding. Should I tell her the truth or just lie and say I have a scheduling conflict? All right, I've actually been in this situation before, Steve-O, so I have some advice about this, all right? You paying attention? I'm just trying to tell you, you're going to be in this situation. Listen to this. So I was time in my life, I didn't have a lot of money, and so somebody asked me to be in the wedding, and it was a wedding that was out of town or whatever. And I couldn't afford it, okay? And in the case of your question, the wedding is in Greece and the bachelor party's in Belize. I was like, look, I was supposed to be the best man. I was like, listen, I'm telling you right now, I can't afford anything you're trying to do, okay? And that's my advice to you. My advice is, if that's your friend and you're supposed to be the maid of honor, you're supposed to be connected, you tell the truth, because the truth always works far better to preserve a relationship than a lie ever will, okay? If you tell some lie about the fact that you're unavailable or whatever you were going to say, that's only going to see the situation in the wrong direction. Be honest and say, look, I cannot afford it, all right? And understand that your financial situation is not synonymous with your worth, your value, or your identity. Just because I don't have any money doesn't have to mean I don't have any worth. You're obviously a valuable person. And you might discover, as I discovered in my situation, that the person who asked me to be the best man at their wedding was willing to pay for me to fly in because they understood the situation that I was in. And I'm saying to you, the person that asked you to be the maid of honor may understand what you're going through, and they may have already provided a way for you to be at the wedding, at the bachelorette party, and involved in it all. So yeah, tell the truth. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in it at all. It's just the truth. The truth often comes sometimes without any value assessment. I don't have the money. I can't pay for it. And then you work to see how you can figure it out, okay? And this situation will tell you a lot about your own capacity for courage and honesty and authenticity, and it will also tell you a lot about your friend's ability to understand and empathize and be connected to where you are. I'm hoping the two of you will grow more from this, you know what I'm saying? But don't lie. No, don't do that. Don't release a lie out into your friendship, especially over something that's not really worth it. Just be honest, okay? Thank you for tuning in tonight. I absolutely enjoyed talking to Alexia Adams tonight. I enjoyed having you be a part of this tonight. Thank you for being a part of it. Y'all be good to each other. See you next week. I love you.